Hello folks and welcome to this week's retrospective. Now if the Mega Drive had an hours played counter, this game would very likely be fighting for top spot. I really don't have a bad word to say about this game. I'm sure many probably do, but for me this is probably the absolute definition of my childhood. Now this game was released in 1992, and I can definitely first remember experiencing this game at my cousin's house. I would have to guess my following birthday we picked up a second-hand copy of it along with Pitfall, which will be in a future video. So this game came out on the 21st of November 1992 in Japan, and then the 24th of November in Europe and the USA, a day which was marketed as Sonic Tuesday. Do you get it? Sonic 2? It was released on a Tuesday? Yeah, anyway. Now I don't think I got my hands on this until maybe 1994 or 95, somewhere around that time. But development had begun for this sequel around November 1991 following the success of the previous game, but while the first game was developed by the Sonic team in Japan, the Sega Technical Institute in the USA took the reins on this game. By this point, the original creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka, who we spoke about in the last Sonic video, had quit Sega along with some of the other members of the original Sonic team. There's been various amounts of speculation as to what caused this, but the most common information seems to be related to Naka being unhappy with the proper lack of compensation for the huge success of the original Sonic. But also, even with the huge success of the game, he was still being given grief by Sega for taking 14 months to deliver the game when they expected it in 10. And the fact that he had more people on the team than he was supposed to have been assigned. So Mark Cerny, who had founded the Sega Technical Institute, had found out that Naka had left, and as he was in Japan a lot while setting up the new institute, he made a trip to Naka's apartment to speak to him about the whole situation. Following these conversations, he ended up recruiting Naka into the STI, along with Hirokazu Yasuhara, who had worked a lot on the first game's level design. This brought a huge amount of already established talent onto the new project. Now of course Sonic 2 went on to be another huge success for Sega. It was a huge part of Sega catching up to Nintendo in the early 90s console wars, and it pushed Sega's market share up by 40% in the first 6 months of the game's release. The addition of the Tails character was also huge for the Sonic franchise, as he became a prominent character within the universe and has regularly continued to appear alongside Sonic throughout the years of games, cartoons and comic strips. The game was also so successful that it actually replaced Sonic the Hedgehog as the game that was bundled with the consoles when the redesigned Mega Drive 2 model was released. So let's look a little bit more at the gameplay and what was new in this game. Sonic 2 is the first game in what is known within the fandom as the Death Egg Saga, a storyline that continued into Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles and Sonic 4. And as I previously mentioned, the game introduced a new character, Tails, who would by default follow Sonic through the levels, somewhat emulating his movements, but you could also select to play as just Sonic or just Tails. Now, unlike World of Illusion for example, picking either of these characters didn't change the way that you progress through the game, the levels remain exactly the same. If you were playing in the Sonic and Tails mode, another player could take control of Tails with a second controller, but only Sonic could progress the level. Tails would remain restricted by the boundaries of the content that was currently on screen. This mode is sometimes referred to as 1.5 player, because it's not quite 2. The game was sped up with the advancements the development team had made since the first game, and a new ability was introduced called the Spin Dash, which allowed Sonic and Tails to launch from a crouch position to a high speed by charging out first. The individual levels grew in size, allowing for more varied paths to the end of the level, and because of this, the 3 acts per zone was dropped in favour of 2 per zone for the majority of the game. The method of entering the special stages changed to jumping into a star ring that appeared above each of the checkpoints as long as you passed it with 50 or more rings. This allowed you to collect more than 1 Chaos Emerald per level. The special stage itself had changed from a rotating maze to a pseudo 3D half-pipe in which you have to dodge bombs and collect rings to meet targets before approaching the Chaos Emerald at the end. Collecting the Chaos Emeralds also ties in with another new feature, Super Sonic. So once you collected all of the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic gained the ability to transform into Super Sonic. Collecting 50 rings and then jumping into the air would transform Sonic, turning him yellow and pushing his speed to its absolute limit. He also becomes practically invulnerable at this point, but he can still die to level hazards such as pits and being crushed. There's also a well-known bug with the game that can cause you to fall through the world if you're going that bit too fast, and Super Sonic is a very easy way of triggering this bug. Now I did eventually master a way of collecting all the emeralds before defeating the first boss, which meant that I had Super Sonic for the rest of the playthrough. It was a weird flex, but it was always fun to show off to friends who didn't believe it could be done. I tried to do this on the stream, admittedly with the help of save states, but I only managed to get 6 Chaos Emeralds because I couldn't find the last checkpoint. Either way, I did get all 7 Chaos Emeralds and did get Super Sonic for the rest of my playthrough. So this game also introduced a separate 2-player versus mode where the objective was to race through a selection of the regular zones. Now this happened to be the most criticised part of the game, as the squash viewpoint that each player got and the fact it had some graphics flickering at times didn't really meet the standard the rest of the game had set. Now much like the original game, you can find copies of this game everywhere. It's been ported to various consoles, iOS, Android, it's just everywhere. The version I played on the stream was from the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis Classics on Steam, and without its save states and the occasional rewind, I definitely would have failed to clear the game. I'm just not as good as I used to be at these games. But as per usual, I have to recommend this as a game that you try out if you've never played it. The Sonic series on the Mega Drive has never really let me down, and they're all great games in their own way. So I hope that you've enjoyed this retrospective and another dive into the history of one of gaming's most iconic franchises. As usual, I'd love to hear your memories of this game in the comments, and the edited long play will be uploaded later this week. Don't forget you can also catch me during the week over on Twitch, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of these. And with that, I will see you next time.